Good afternoon, everybody. It is Kevin Harris. We are with the Benchwarmer Podcast today. We are downtown Biloxi at the wonderful Castnet Studios on Howard Avenue next door to the Wayward Kraken. In the studio with me today, I have the one and only Doug Sellers. For those of you, hey, I'm playing over here. Let me turn my volume down. So, if those of you that don't know Doug, let me introduce Doug. Doug is the owner of Ironworks Gym in Biloxi on Eisenhower Drive, just north of the tracks. And he is also the organizer, I guess, promoter for NPC Battle on the Gulf Coast bodybuilding competition. So we're going to go over a little bit of that stuff with him today, and we're going to talk fitness. We're going to talk the gym, what the gym does for you, and we're going to talk local businesses as well. We were talking off the air that one thing I started to do with this whole Benchwarmer podcast was all about we're just going to sit around the table and we're going to talk national sports. Well, now I wanted to gear it towards, there's a lot of local stuff going on. There's a lot of local businesses for sports. I mean, you've got, the Biloxi Shuckers, you've got the fight companies, you've got the gyms, you got the CrossFit gyms, you got the meal prep stuff, a whole bunch of stuff going for athletes and things like that around the Gulf Coast. So we're going to chat with Doug a little bit about it. But first, I want to get into Battle on the Gulf Coast, the NPC bodybuilding competition. If you guys aren't sure what we're talking about, I'm going to show you a little clip. We'll be able to talk over the clip, but I'm going to show you a little clip of last year's. So this one is the men's physique, so we'll be able to talk about it over this. Oh, it worked out perfect because the last time, it is YouTube, so every now and then when you play YouTube, you end up with a commercial. So we didn't get a commercial on this. So this is off of NPC. So if you don't fully understand it, this is all about the physique, all about the muscles, all about what you can do in the poses and things like that. So
symmetry, body composition.
I was going to say, fill me in a little bit here.
Well, these guys right here, and luckily for us, we got two local guys in this little video right here. Blaine Steiger is on the left, and now they're changing places. But the guy in the middle, Chris Prevost, and he was actually the overall winner for men's physique this last year. Basically what you're looking for in men's physique is symmetry, body composition, just all-out dryness, being able to see the muscles from the body, from the waist up. That's kind of why they have board shorts on. And you can see these guys, they're in phenomenal shape.
They are. And how long, when somebody, let's say, I don't want to say somebody like me. I'm old. It doesn't matter. It's going to take a while for me. Let's say a young person, let's say they're in their mid-20s, and they come in and they want to give that full devotion to it, they want the full package. They want to be able to compete in something like this. And we know it's not a month. It's not an overnight transformation. What kind of time frame do you look at somebody coming into the gym and seeing you for the first time to be able to do something like that if they give the full commitment to it?
Man, believe it or not, genetics plays a huge role in what we do. And a lot of these guys you'll see, and girls competing, they were athletes in high school, middle school, stuff like that. So they were already in pretty good shape.
Right.
So when they come into it, they don't have a lot to do, man. It's a big diet change. It's a total lifestyle change. But they clean up their diets, they start their cardio, their workout regimen, stuff like that, and they just transform themselves into competitors.
So how did you get involved with NPC?
This is my 5th year in the NPC. I had a good friend of mine that owns a local business, Tom Banish and Mike Banish. They own Power Shack and Vitamin Warehouse and Biloxi Screen Print and on and on and on. These guys came to me and asked me. They said, "Hey." Back in 2011, I know you were interested in doing this when we were doing it and we quit. Here it is. We're able to present this to you. The head of the state had come down and asked if you were interested in doing it still. And, of course, I was. I wanted to get the name of the gym out. That's kind of why I got into it.
Right.
And, man, it's taken a life of its own. It really has.
Well, I'll tell you, I've seen you, and you and I go way back. We've known each other for years. And I haven't personally been to it, but I've watched it, and I've watched it, and I've watched it from year one, and I've watched it grow and grow and grow and grow and
Yes.
grow. So how many competitors do you have? So I know June 1st is the deadline to get actually signed up for it.
It is. That's when we start charging late fees, and I'll go ahead and publicly announce it. I'm waiving all late fees again this year like I did in previous years before. There will be no late fees at this show. So we want everybody. But every year since the first year we've done this, the show has grown with competitors and attendance.
Right.
The first 2 years we did the show, it was done at the IP Casino. Venue was great. Man, first year we put like 1,100 people in that casino. It was pretty awesome. Next year we did 1,200 attendees, and it just went up and up and up. Last year we did over 1,500 people at the Hard Rock Live.
Wow.
That's coming through the door watching the show. That's not competitors.
And that's insane.
Mhm.
I mean, I've seen them on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And you see there's good crowds,
Mhm.
but to know that there's that many people along the Gulf Coast that want to be involved and want to see this,
Well,
that's awesome.
Well, we come to find out that being on the Gulf Coast and being right here, bordering so many different states, that it draws from a lot of different states. I get a lot of people from Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas. I've got people this year already signed up from South Florida, Miami, all the way to Missouri, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to get involved with it, and let's not talk about competitors or anything like that, but if somebody wanted to get involved in it, volunteer, sponsor, or anything like that, I know it's kind of late for this year, but if they wanted to hop into it for next year and help out with whatever they had, how do they get involved with that?
They contact me directly. They can come to the gym. Just look me up. Come talk to us. I take on any sponsors, especially local businesses. I like to help a lot with the local businesses. Of course, we get the big sponsors like ABB and Optimum Nutrition and Cellucor and Dimetile, all these supplement companies. We get to come in because they want to be a part of this stuff. That's how they make their money.
Absolutely.
But then I also go out and reach out to local businesses, and most of my guys in the gym that own local businesses, they all support.
Right.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we do.
That's awesome, and I like to see that it has a lot to do with the local stuff. And we'll go into more of the local stuff as far as Ironworks gym and stuff like that. But I was doing some reading on some stuff, and we were talking about it a little while ago. But the NPC is the amateur version of the IFBB.
IFBB. Yes.
All right, I'm doing good.
That's right.
So, and I read where through the NPC, they've had 24 Olympias and 38 Arnold Classic winners come through NPC and end up winning those competitions. So tell us what it takes to be able to make it from where they're at now, being a part of this, to be able to get into that IFBB.
Well, there's only one way to the IFBB, and that's through the NPC. You have to go through the NPC. You gotta start at the bottom and work your way up. You start with a show like mine, then you go to a nationally qualified show, then you go to a national show. You win a national show, you're a pro. Now you're in the IFBB. This is where you start winning shows to go. If you win a pro show, you get to go to the Olympia. And that's the most prestigious show there is. I mean, that in the Arnold, they're all huge shows, but Olympia is the one you want to be at. And we have a lot of local pros around here now too, believe it or not.
I'd like to start reaching out to some of them and actually get them in here and chatting and as they're getting ready to go to whatever competitions that they're getting ready to take part in. And I saw where you're putting there's two new divisions, or this year the Mr. and Mrs. Gulf Coast division.
Yes, sir. There's Mr. and Mrs. Gulf Coast. What it is it's open bodybuilding and open bikini, and you have to be from Harrison, Hancock, or Jackson County to compete in that. And you will also, if you win those divisions, you also get to go into an overall because it is an open division.
Very cool. And I've got another one that we were going to take a look at. You had mentioned the bikini. So this is from last year as well, which is yes, no commercial again. So this is actually a bit of the bikini competition from overall competition from last year's battle on the Gulf Coast at the Hard Rock. So you guys kind of see what's going on there as well. And like I said, you can probably walk us through it a little better.
Well, again, we have a local girl in the middle. That's Miracle Abear, and she won the overall bikini last year. And that's what you're watching now is her class that she won. But yeah, again, it's the same as all the rest of it. I mean, muscle tone, a bikini, they don't want you really showing hard ab lines. They don't want you showing a lot of muscle. They just
Right.
want you to be in shape and tone and aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Gotcha.
There's so many different categories for women, and bikini is the starting one. You go bikini, women's figure, women's physique, and then women's bodybuilding.
So if you're actually going to start into bodybuilding and competitions, if you're a female, that's where you're going to start at. is the
Some of them
bikini.
start there until they put the muscle on.
Right.
Yeah, but some of them just jump in with the muscle. They'll go straight to physique or women's figure, stuff like that.
That's awesome. So I know we have some local ones around here. Is there any of them that you want to talk about, or
Local competitors.
yeah, local competitors?
I'd like to give a shout out just to the ones that's went pro, especially in the last few years that I've been involved in it. Jason Abear, he's an IFBB pro bodybuilder now. Derek Roach, he's an IFBB pro men's physique competitor. Brittany Taylor, she's an IFBB pro women's bikini. There's a lot, man. There's a lot that I'm leaving out. I can't think of all of them, but a lot of guys down here and girls too have went the distance.
So if you guys are watching this, you know any of them, make sure you tag them in it because I'd love to get them in here. I'm going to do probably 2 more shows before your show. So if I can get any of them in here that want to come in and chat and talk about it, we can do that. So I was looking at it. So the price of admission for this, and if you guys didn't catch it, it's June 15th at the Hard Rock. I got it pulled up here. So pre-judging is $20.
Mm-hmm.
And then the night show is $35, and then you have a VIP as well, which is $50. Cash only.
At the door.
At the door. So what does VIP include in that?
Well, I have 200 VIP seats, and like I told you earlier, there was 1,500 last year,
Right.
so they sell out quick. We don't do pre-sales. We don't do anything. It's on a first-come, first-served basis. You can show up in the morning at pre-judging, and you can pick your VIP tickets up there. So you get in line, you get them.
Awesome. And I had it written down here. So when you're looking, or when the judges are looking, and I saw where some judges are like local out of Mississippi and stuff like that. We talked about it a little bit, but what do the judges look for when they're looking at a bodybuilding competitor? When they're looking at these physiques, what are they looking for?
Symmetry, aesthetics, genetics. I mean, there's a list of things you could look at. Dryness. You can tell when somebody's put in the work. You really can.
Right.
And the good thing about our judges, we have great judges here in Mississippi. And I will say this, after seeing all the shows all over the places I've been, different states and stuff, Mississippi really holds their shows up high. They put them as top tier. At my shows, I have judges from Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and I think I have a Tennessee judge. Yep.
Very cool. So if you wanted to take Battle on the Gulf Coast, and how would you be able to take it to be one of those national qualifiers or something like that? What does that take on your end of it?
I've been trying to figure that out since I started. I've been begging for it since I've started this. And Mr. Don Hollis, I love the man to death, him and Miss Betty both. They have told me, just wait your turn. It'll happen when it's ready. And as much as I hate to hear that and I want it, I know that they're doing the right thing. They're not going to set me up for failure.
No, and I understand that, and I also understand your personality too. It's like when you decide to do something,
I'm going full
it's
force.
full bore. It's that gas pedal's mashed down.
That's
so
right.
I can understand, and then having to hear, just be patient. And it's very
It's
tough
hard.
to do.
It's hard, yeah.
I get it. So let's talk about Ironworks Gym a little bit.
Let's go.
Ironworks Gym, Eisenhower Drive, just north of the tracks, over by just north of Edgewater Mall, so you know where it's at. How did you go about? You're going into 9th year?
Yeah, we're
Ninth
going
year?
into our 9th year.
How did you go about deciding? You know what, this is because I've met you through other businesses.
That's right.
How did you decide? You know what, the gym is where I want to take it.
Well, me and Tom Donovan, believe it or not, Biloxi Ink Tattoo, Biloxi native. He's my business partner in the gym, and me and him were riding on the road, and this was after World's Gym turned to Planet, and we were going to eFitness, and we just had nowhere to work out. And me and him just started, hey, let's build a gym. I've always wanted one. I've been in gyms almost all my life.
Can't tell.
Yeah, and we said, let's do it. So we got together, we looked it out and seen what it took, and we made it happen.
So we were talking off the air, and I've been to what used to be World Gym, is Planet Fitness now. I've been a member of Crunch Fitness. I've got a buddy of mine that is part owner of Southern Elite. I've got you that owns Ironworks. So what can Ironworks offer that locally is better than, the national, hey, we're going to put as many people in there as possible?
Man, we're a family. You're not a number at Ironworks Gym. When you come in there, you get greeted by your name, not scan in, hey, number 345, We really have a great group of guys there, with Team Ironworks, bodybuilders, Access Power, power lifters and bodybuilders, Empire training and personal training. I mean, we got so many different personalities in this one place, and it just vibes so good. You can ask anybody about the atmosphere in the gym, and it's awesome. I mean, we play metal music, we play rap music. I mean, we're not your corporate place that you come in and just.
Hold on, I made a mistake there. So, when I went, it's actually they can't hear us talk if I show those photos.
Oh.
So hold on, guys. I'm going to show you the photos real quick, and then we'll be right back. So those photos were actually, if I remember right, those were like early on photos, or a few years back.
And years.
I've seen a video on your Facebook page. Y'all have done some updating and stuff like that. As far as nutrition goes, when somebody walks in, and I'm asking this mostly for me because I am a type 1 diabetic. I've got to get better on my own stuff. So if somebody walks in and they're wanting to be walked through from start to beginning, walking through the door at the beginning, their workouts and nutrition, what can they do when they get to Ironworks Gym?
Well, as soon as they walk in, we try to assess them a little bit and find out who we're going to put them with, who's going to work for their times, who's going to fit their needs the best. After that, what we do is we also have a meal prep service called Charged Up Grill. What we do is every one of us, we write diets. We can cook the food in training regimen according to you. We find out if you have any medical problems, like you say you're diabetic.
Right.
We can work around that. You know what I mean? We would fix your food for that, so you don't get too much sugar or whatever.
And that's the thing that I've noticed as being a diabetic. I'm like, I find what works for me, and I'm like that. I just eat the same thing, and I don't know the variety. I don't know. I say I don't have time. I probably do, but I don't feel like I have time to actually sit there and look. Okay, I can eat this, but I can't eat this, but I know I can eat this, so I'm just going to eat this every single day.
Right.
So chicken has become one of my favorite meals.
Welcome to the world. Welcome to the world of bodybuilding. That's what we all do. I will tell you this. I mean, we have a pretty good variety. I mean, you can mix it up. We do diets on macro counts. We don't count calories no more, really.
Gotcha.
And we can change it up. I mean, there's a lot of good protein sources, complex carbs, dietary fibrous carbs. Starchy carbs are actually really good for you. Might be bad for you for insulin spiking, but
right.
There's so much stuff that we can put together, and we got it all in-house. We can do it all in one building.
So Charged Up is actually part of Ironworks Gym.
It's a commercial kitchen that is regulated by the state, and it is in the gym.
So what else is in the gym that I don't know about?
A lot of weights.
I kind of figured that would probably be it.
Man, we have anything that anybody else around here has. I mean, we have the best of the best equipment. We have all Hammer Strength and Life Fitness equipment. We have a turf field. We have anything that you could want to do with powerlifting. I got one of the best powerlifting teams, like you was talking about earlier with Southern Elite. Richard's a buddy of mine. And
right, yeah.
All of us local gyms, we kind of vibe together. You know
cool.
what I mean? We don't hate on each other. We're not in competition with each other. We all try to help.
I did notice that when scrolling through, and I saw it when you first posted it, and I liked it or whatever, but I saw it again today when I was trying to do my little research. But you actually listed all the gyms that are locally owned.
That's right.
Wolfpack and Crooked Letter and you guys and Southern Elite and the list goes on.
Yeah.
And I loved it and you even told me that one time when we ran into each other, you were like, I don't care where you go, just get in a gym.
Just get in a gym.
So, but I have decided I will be coming to Ironworks.
Yeah.
So eventually I will be there. So give us a rundown real quick. You got this week, I know the weigh-ins you got on the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume that that's not public.
It's not. We try to keep it down because, I mean, we'll have 100-plus people in the gym that day just trying to register and check in and also getting spray tan. We have a spray tan company that comes in, competition spray tan company, Liquid Sun Rays, Kim Trahan out of Louisiana. She'll come in and be spraying from about 12 to about 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then she'll set back up at the show and do touch-ups and stuff in there. We have hair and makeup. We have the list goes on, man. It's going to be a busy, busy day that Friday. So
we talk locally. And we've got a few more minutes that we're gonna do this show. We talk locally, and by the way, Doug's son is graduating preschool today, so on his birthday. So happy birthday to Doug, and congratulations to your son.
Awesome.
So we talk locally, and like we said, I want to focus a lot on the local businesses that attribute to the athletes and fitness. Mm-hmm. Tell me how you feel when it comes. What is your passion as far as local? Because I know that drives you, being local.
Yeah. So well, let's be honest from the gate. You can't do everything local, but we can do as much as we can.
Right.
Gyms. If you go to a gym, make sure it's not a corporate. All your money's going out of off the Gulf Coast. If you go to a corporate business or something like that, I hate to say their names, but I mean Planet. What's the name of it? Crunch, Club 4, all these places, there might be Oakley loan, but they're still corporations. Their money is not staying on the coast.
Right.
You have people like Ironworks, Top Guns, Southern Elite, even little fitness centers like BioView, stuff like that. These guys are from here. They keep their money here. They spend their money here. We use supplement companies. We don't go to big chain places. We use like Vitamin Warehouse. We send people down there.
I was going to ask you about that because I noticed you've teamed up a lot with like 5-Star Nutrition and Vitamin Warehouse and stuff like that, and that's all locally owned groups as well.
Mm-hmm. Even some of your GNCs. Shad, he owns GNCs and he's from the coast.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean we usually push people to stick locally owned and shop local in Biloxi and on the Gulf Coast.
Well. For those of you watching and listening later to the audio-only version of the podcast, if you're from the Gulf Coast and right here at Castnet Studios, the podcast that we do, Brown Water Banter by Jared Seymour, he is all about local. As we were talking about with this podcast, the Benchwarmer, local. The Sound, our music one. Local. I mean, we spread out a little bit national with that one, but it's more geared local. So one more time before we end the show, June 15th, NPC Battle on the Gulf Coast. Give us a rundown. Tell us the last few minutes how everybody can get to it, find it, all that kind of stuff.
Well, if you're a competitor and you want to compete in it, you can come to the gym or you can pull up the website, battleonthegulfcoast.com. Everything you need is on there. If you want to attend, just show up at the Hard Rock June 15th. Saturday morning prejudging starts at 9 a.m. sharp.
So what exactly is prejudging compared to
the night show?
The night show.
Prejudging is basically where everybody gets judged. We know, or they know, who's going to win that show in those categories going into the night show. So what happens at the night show is you have overall battles. And what it is, say you have bikini A through D. There's going to be one winner in each one of those classes. So you got 4 people that are going to compete for an overall class.
Gotcha.
So those guys go to battle on stage at the night show. Now, the night show is more of the glitz and glamour. The guys come out to music and there's a lot of stuff going on. But the overall winner is announced, and they win statues and bags from different supplement companies and stuff.
Let's see if I work this out right, because I notice I haven't put audio into a bunch of stuff. So let's see if we do have audio here. So here's some of the 2018 winners from from that class, if you want to talk, or their classes, if you want to talk about the 4 that you got there. I mean, I know you already talked about the bikini one and the gentleman on the far right in that picture. But if you want to talk about that a bit.
Again, his is our overall winners at the night. Some of the guys and girls had to cut out early, so they didn't make the overall, picture at the end. But 3 of these guys and girls in this picture are local competitors. You have Bradley Blaylock, Miracle Abear, and Chris Prevost. And the lovely lady, Jessica Heyman, she's actually from Louisiana, and she will be competing again this year. She's coming back.
Very cool. So I got a question for you. When you look at some of these bodybuilders, and some of them are clean, no tattoos and anything. And I noticed on a lot of when you look at some of the rules on some of this stuff, no tassels, no bling, and you got to wear a certain type bottom and things like that. Do tattoos affect anything?
It does not, man. And what I want people to understand about the NPC is it's not a bikini contest. You know what I mean? It is a well-sanctioned show. Like, these people, they don't like the girls bending over. They don't like that. You have to have a certain cut bottom. You know what I mean? Even the guys have to have a certain cut trunk. You can't just get up there and dance around. I mean, there's certain mandatory poses that you have to do, and it's a well-oiled machine how the NPC runs.
So in my research of what's allowed, what's not allowed, I showed this to you earlier. I'm going to let everybody know. There's a pose that's actually banned in bodybuilding. It's called the moon pose. And I was like, what the hell is the moon pose? So I Googled moon pose. First one you got was yoga. So I put in moon pose bodybuilding. And this is apparently the moon pose. So that pose is actually banned in bodybuilding. I was reading about it. Talking about, of course, a lot of people think it's just not a proper way to expose your muscles.
I've actually heard Mr. Hollis at the competitors' meetings tell the girls, do not bend over. There's a way to pose your backside, and it's arch your back and, still stand straight up.
Right.
If you bend over, they will call you out.
Wow.
Yeah. You will lose points for that. I mean, it's bad posing.
Well, no, I get it. And when you look at it, it's I can understand it.
Right.
So I probably shouldn't have searched it. I could have probably gone without seeing that view all day long, but
right.
Is what it is. So, Doug, thank you so much for being a part of this show. June 15th, Hard Rock. Help me out again. The prejudging starts at 9?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Then we'll take a break around 11, come back for the night show at 5 p.m. and run it to about 10 o'clock at night.
Awesome. Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Definitely check them out at Ironworks Gym. I will be there eventually. I promise. I will get there. I keep saying I'm going, and I just gotta. Yeah, I gotta man up. I guess is what it is.
We're waiting on you.
So thank you very much, Doug, and good luck on June 15th. And once again, if any of you competitors want to come be a part of the Benchwarmer, just hit us up on Facebook. The Benchwarmer Podcast, Facebook.com, the Benchwarmer Podcast 31. So hit us up, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you very much.